Greetings and welcome to this week's edition of 401k Real Talk. This is Fred Barstein, contributing editor at wealthmanagement.com's RPA Edge and CEO at Trow, TPSU, and 401k TV. I review all of last week's stories and select the 5 most important and interesting ones, providing open, honest, and candid discussion you will not get anywhere else. So let's get real. First story, ESG funds and DC plans continue to be under pressure, with the first lawsuit filed against the plan sponsor. American Airlines was sued in Texas by a participant for including what they claimed underperforming ESG funds, also naming the record keeper Fidelity and Edelman Financial Engines. Though experts have thrown shade on the merits of this particular case, it does provide another reason for plans and advisors to take a wait-and-see approach to ESG funds, with performance lagging and inflows waning, along with other lawsuits by states pending, attempting to negate the Biden administration's ESG role. Next story, Cetera continued the trend of broker-dealers buying advisory firms with the purchase of the Retirement Planning Group, a wealth management shop in Kansas with $1.4 billion, coming 1 month after Cetera hired Mike Durbin as their CEO, who is the former head of Fidelity's RIA Clearing and Service Division. Cetera, funded by Genstar, which also invests in Sageview and Mercer Advisors, continues the trend of broker-dealers acquiring advisory practices, with recent purchases by LPL, Advisor Group, and Kestra, who are now competing against RPA and RIA aggregators after having lost some of the best and brightest to them. Next story, Morningstar released its 2023 Retirement Plan Landscape Report, highlighting changes and trends in the DC market, including growing use of CITs, especially in the under $500 million market, lower costs overall, but especially for larger plans, strong asset and plan growth despite losing 377,000 plans from 2012 to 2022, and $400 billion annually since 2015. CIT assets and DC plans quadrupled to $2.25 trillion compared to $3.25 trillion in mutual funds, which had doubled, due in part to lower costs. For example, the average active funds were 60 basis points compared to 24 basis points in CITs. The SEC is making moves to take over the supervision of CITs, which may increase costs and damper their growth. Next story, following consumer credit card trends, Human Interest, a fintech record keeper, is offering participants in their plans making less than $60,000 a 3% cashback gift card if they contribute at least 8% for 12 months. There have been attempts by firms like Evo Shares to allow consumers to increase DC contributions based on credit card purchases, but difficulties integrating with payroll and record keepers have all but stalled their efforts. Interesting to watch whether Human Interest's latest efforts will significantly affect consumer behavior. Finally, a Forrester research study with HR and employee experience professionals is reporting how engagement with benefit platforms can dramatically improve retention and recruiting. At the same time, they report that engagement with wellness programs remains painfully low. 70% of respondents are investing in new benefit platforms, as poor engagement can lead to less productivity, more burnout, and lower retention, caused in part by poor culture, awareness, communication, and technology. Though there is no panacea, the report suggests that employers use regular worker surveys, more education and training, user-friendly platforms, non-traditional benefits, and the ability of users to customize their benefit packages easily. So those were the most important and interesting stories from the past week. Please let me know if I missed anything or if you have any comments. Otherwise, I look forward to talking with you next week on 401k Real Talk.